Do you have sticker shock looking at the price of a Walt Disney World vacation? So do we. But here's our hot take of this video. Disney World is worth it. Now, are we saying that everything within Walt Disney World is worth the cost? Absolutely not. But the price of entry is totally justified.
Here's the thing, you can go to Walt Disney World and spend thousands of dollars without even knowing it, but it may not be worth it.
We are frugal people, so we know how to make every dollar count. So stick around till the end to find out our #1 tip on saving money on your Walt Disney World vacation. You will be surprised at how much you can actually save. So if possible, go during off-peak times. We know this is not going to work for everybody, but if you can, avoid times like Christmas, spring break, early summer, and national holidays. These are going to be super crowded and extremely busy, both for park tickets and for hotels. We find the best times to go is February, May, September, and early November.
If possible, try to skip the weekends. We all know that on the weekdays, hotels tend to be cheaper. Plus, that also applies to park visits as well. Usually tickets are slightly cheaper on the weekdays because the crowds are smaller there. You'll have less waits because most people on the weekends tend to be annual pass holders or people that live around Florida. So going on a weekday is a win-win for your wallet as well as for your time at the park.
Pro tip, set up a Google flight alert for the times that you want to go to Walt Disney World. Create several of them from your city to the Orlando International Airport, and Google will actually email you when these flights decrease in price.
Here's a trick to save money. Check the Disney website.
Disney sometimes runs promotions on their tickets. At the time of this recording, there's a 20% off rate for Canadians on a 5-day plus park ticket. And for everybody else, there's a deal on 4-day park tickets, which start at $99 per ticket per day. So if there are no discounts on the Disney website when you're looking to book, we highly recommend looking at reputable third-party websites. One of these in particular is called Undercover Tourist. So if you're staying 3 days or more, you're going to get a better rate through this website. They are not sponsoring this video. We are not getting commission from it. We're just trying to help you save some money. Now, if you're only staying 1 or 2 days, going direct through Disney is still going to be your best option.
And whatever you do, just don't buy from sites like Kijiji because there are tons of scams out there.
We'll leave some links in the description below to some reputable websites. There are a lot of add-ons at Walt Disney World that will stack up and end up costing you hundreds of extra dollars. We are going to recommend you say no to most of them.
An example of this is skipping Park Hopper. We've been to Disney numerous times and we've never done Park Hopper. Park Hopper is super expensive and it applies to your entire trip. So let's say you're at Disney for 4 days and you only want to park hop on maybe 1 or 2 of those days. Well, Park Hopper requires you to buy the pass for all 4 days of your visit. So it does add up quite easily, especially when you're doing it for the entire family.
And it's surprisingly exhausting to go from park to park. So we really don't recommend it unless you're there for 1 to 2 days and you want to see the entire property. The next add-on we're going to tell you to skip is Disney Genie Plus. This is a wonderful service that allows you to skip the lines at Disney World, which particularly comes in handy when you're at one of those crowded parks. The thing is, it can get up to $35 per guest per day, and if you have a large family, that's going to be a huge cost. The only park we really recommend getting it for is Magic Kingdom because it's so crowded and because there are so many rides there. But even if you don't do Genie Plus, you will still have an amazing day at Magic Kingdom. And speaking of Genie Plus, there's also individual lightning lanes. With Genie Plus, not every ride at Walt Disney World is covered under that service. So the newer, most popular rides actually has an upcharge to them. So the $35 is not going to get you on those rides. It's actually going to cost you between $12 and $25 depending on the ride and depending on how busy the day is. Those with individual lightning lanes include Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, Tron Light Cycle Run, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, and Avatar Flight of Passage. At the time of this recording, Tron Light Cycle Run and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind actually have virtual queue system, which means at 7 a.m. you're going to log on to the My Disney Experience app and book a virtual queue. If you miss the 7 a.m. cutoff, don't worry, there's another one at 1 p.m., but you do need to be in that park in order to book it. We have an upcoming series on rope drop strategies so that you don't need to buy those extras like Genie Plus or individual lightning lane. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss those videos.
So when I was a kid, I had this impression that you could not bring outside food and outside drinks into a theme park. When we went to Disney for the first time, we were quite surprised that you could do both of those. So if you're a big family, make sure to bring a backpack full of snacks to feed everyone so that you can go in between meals. You can also go up to any quick service restaurant and just ask for ice water, which is what we do quite often in the Florida heat.
I feel fine.
And the iced water is just there, it's readily available. Sometimes you don't even need to ask for it. You just go into the quick service restaurant and grab it.
Now, when we travel, we don't like to spend a lot of money on souvenirs or merchandise, but there's something about Disney. When you see all the other guests in t-shirts with Mickey ears, with different stuffed animals and balloons, it really makes you want to spend your money. As an example, Patrick bought this souvenir hat from Animal Kingdom, and this was from our first trip to
We never buy
Magic Kingdom.
anything. We never buy any of the souvenirs.
So trust me, it will happen to you. You can't fight it.
And with that, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.
But here's our tip. If you don't want to spend the money on the marked up merchandise, you can actually go to anywhere off resort and you'll probably find it for a lot cheaper.
Don't listen to him.
An example of this is Target. So if you go to Target, you can actually find a bunch of Disney t-shirts and souvenirs there for a lot cheaper than at Disney World. Or if you're going to Disney Springs, one example is Uniqlo. So we got this t-shirt at Uniqlo for half the price of a t-shirt at Disney World. Go there before you go on your trip and you can wear the t-shirts at the park.
I mean, you can do that, but I mean, look at his face. Look at it. Just look at his face. Just look at him.
Well, that's why our next tip is on how you can save money on merchandise at Disney Park. Because there are certain things that you can't find off resort or at a Target, like Stitch. And in those situations, you can use a Disney Chase Visa card. This is a free credit card that you should probably apply for before your trip. It earns 1% back on Disney dollars.
It works just like regular money, but it's, fun.
And with that Chase Visa card, you get 10% off merchandise throughout Walt Disney World. So you can save 10% on this Stitch. And while you're at Target, you can save 5% off Disney gift cards if you're a Target Red Card member. Or if you check Costco's website, once in a while they'll give 10% off discounts for gift cards to Disney. Gift cards are a great way to save money because you can use them anywhere on property for merchandise, for restaurants, or even to buy your park tickets. So tons of options. How much does a Stitch go for
He's
these
so
days?
fluffy!
He don't love me!
This Stitch was like $100.
If only we knew the gift card trick back then.
Yeah, it was full price. And for this tip, my hair is going to be a mess because I just put on that damn hat. So if you're staying in Orlando for an extended period of time, you don't need to be at the parks every single day, as much as your kids might want to be. You can actually just have a relaxing resort day, hang out by the pool, and you can even take Disney transportation around Walt Disney World and check out the different unique resorts, like the Polynesian, the Contemporary, the Grand Floridian, or our favorite, Animal Kingdom Lodge. Most people don't realize you don't need to be a guest of Animal Kingdom Lodge to go and enjoy the animals on the savannah. It is an amazing experience and we highly recommend doing it. You will not regret it.
Speaking of Disney resorts, this may sound counterintuitive, but stay on Disney property. That's because Uber and Lyft used to be very inexpensive and would arrive really quickly. But as of late, we've noticed that Uber and Lyft prices have started going up. And it takes 10-20 minutes for it to arrive to pick you up for the parks. Meanwhile, Disney gives you free transportation from all the resorts to the parks. So this will save you $20 to $30 one way to the park. And again, $20 to $30 coming back from the parks for the day.
If you want a great, cheaper option to stay on Disney property, check out the All-Star Resorts. They are an incredible value and you still get all of those Disney perks like early park entry. We stayed during our last trip and we absolutely loved it.
And when you get early entry into the parks, you can usually bang out some of the more popular rides, which means there's less incentive for you to get Genie Plus, back to our point earlier.
Now, if you're not staying on property and you do have to take Uber or Lyft, we highly recommend comparing the prices each day. They can actually vary between $10 and $20, and this really adds up for a 4, 5, 6, 7 day trip.
Here's a pro tip if you're staying off resort and you're leaving the parks during a busy time. Our tip is to head to the buses and take it to the Disney resort that's closest to your off-site hotel. Let's say the fireworks at Magic Kingdom have just finished and you, like everyone else, leaving and waiting for the ferries. This tip will save you money because you're closer to your hotel. It may potentially also save you on surge pricing because there's less demand for the Uber from that Disney resort than from Disney's Magic Kingdom. It can also potentially save you time. That's because everyone else is lining up for the ferry to get to the transportation center, while you're hopping on a bus and heading straight to the Disney resort without any stops, and then having your Uber meet you there.
So our number one tip, and you may have already guessed it if you've seen our Alani video, and if you haven't, we're going to link it in the description below. If you want something fancier or you have a large family and you need a bigger space, we highly recommend you book through Disney Vacation Club or DVC. Now, you don't actually need to be a DVC member to book these rooms. What happens is there's third-party websites that allow DVC members to rent out their points to other people. This means that you are not paying full Disney prices for that resort. You're actually paying about 50% of it. Now, this video is not sponsored in any way, but we're going to include a link in the description below so that you can rent DVC rooms yourself. Some of these rooms even have access to full kitchens. So here's a bonus tip. If you do get one of these rooms, order groceries through services like Instacart. This will save you money because you're not out at expensive restaurants eating every night.
Some of the rooms also have washer and dryer, so you can do your laundry while you're at the resort, which means you don't have to bring the heavy luggage.
So are you going to spend a lot of money on your Disney World vacation? Yup. All vacations are expensive, but there are really easy things you can do to save a huge amount of money on your first or next trip to Walt Disney World. Do you have any money-saving tips for Walt Disney World that we didn't cover here? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video useful at all, please consider hitting the like and subscribe button. It really helps us grow. And with that, we'll see you on the next one. Bye.